All right, you're listening to 91.5 WUML Lowell. It's my honor and pleasure to have Davey Jones with me. Davey, let's talk about the name Davey Jones. Lots of people have had that name in the past.
Yeah, they certainly have. That's not actually. I mean, that's the name I picked mainly because when I was young, I enjoyed oldies music, and so because my first name is David, everybody started calling me Davy Jones from the Monkees, and uh, it just kind of stuck. I mean, probably a bad. I spell it differently, but probably a bad choice of
Well,
names because I have
you're
to
not that he wasn't the only one that was Davy Jones. David Bowie was David Jones as well.
write
And
and
there's been
Ziggy.
others. There's been others in the past too.
But yeah, that's sort of my tribute to some icons that I look up to.
So let's talk about the icons growing up. Who were you listening to as a kid growing up?
I mean, people like Chuck Berry, the Beach Boys, Beatles, the Hollies. As I got older, Robert Johnson, John Lee Hooker, all the the Mississippi greats that came out of the Delta. Stevie, uh, BB King. Nowadays I listen to a lot of Kebmo, Tab Benoit. Some
Yep.
more modern blues guys keeping it alive.
And you're originally from where?
From Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
As far south as you can go, just about.
just just about an hour short of there. Yeah,
And you're
yeah, we have
right.
to
You're in blues country, actually, when you think about it.
absolutely. Yeah, there's a mix of stuff, that sort of comes from down here. We've got obviously the blues and the Delta. We've got New Orleans right down the road. Hattiesburg's actually the birthplace of rock and roll. The first rock and roll lick ever recorded was right here in Hattiesburg.
Wow. Yeah, when I was in Memphis, I met a guy from Senatobia, Mississippi.
Right, that's not too far away.
His name is Mark Muleman Massey. Have you ever heard him?
I hadn't. I'm gonna have to look that one
Check
up.
him up. Check him out. He's an interesting guy. And he actually did some time at Parchment Farm.
I'm trying to stay away from there.
But yeah, he's an interesting guy. You might want to check him out. There's a video on YouTube um, of him that the Library of Congress actually put out telling his story. Pretty interesting. And I met him when I was down in Memphis, and he's an interesting guy. He's
Yeah,
from
I'm definitely gonna have to
Senatobia.
check that out. I'm gonna have to check him out for sure.
Yeah, he's good. He's a nice guy. Um, he just put a record out. He worked at Muscle Shoals on it, and it sounds Muscle Shoalsy. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I actually recorded some of my stuff there in Muscle Shoals. Great town.
So, how much recorded material do you have?
Oh gosh, probably 30 plus songs that are out there. Got a new album coming out after the first of the year. It should be wrapped up by the end of this month.
Oh, really? What's it going to be called?
Probably Ball Cap Blues. It's just sort of my take on blues. It's kind of a mix of blues, country, rock. Just kind of the things that inspired me and sort of made me the guitarist that I am.
Yeah, I was reading about you online, and you play all kinds of different instruments, and you bring in all kinds of different types of music into your own music, which is pretty cool.
Well, while everybody else was out playing football and baseball as a kid, I was inside practicing. So it wasn't some child prodigy. It was actually years of practice and hard work. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. But it does take some time and some effort. And I'll
Yeah,
never claim to
but
I'll
not just
never claim to
guitar.
be.
Go ahead.
Agreed. I'm never going to claim to be the greatest. I have a short attention span, so I would play guitar for a little while and get bored of that, and go play piano, and then go play drums and banjo and organ, and it's I never got great at any of them, but I I got pretty decent at quite a few.
All self-taught?
Um, yes, no formal lessons. My mother played piano, so she would teach me the basics on piano, and she taught me my chords on guitar, and I just sort of took that and ran with it.
So where's the new record coming? What's coming out? Is it on any label or is it self-produced?
No, it's going to be self-produced. I'm just an independent artist. I don't. I've thought about whether I would or wouldn't sign. I don't know whether I would sign or not. I kind of enjoy being independent and calling my own shots and
Yep.
building the brand myself. It's mine. I built it. And if it succeeds, it's on me, and if it fails, it's on me. And I kind of like it that way.
And you got publicist. Thanks. I just want to say thank you to Doug for connecting us, which is great.
Absolutely, Doug Deutsch is an amazing publicist.
He's been great for you, I take it, promoting what
Uh,
you're doing.
Absolutely, he has. We've been working together for a fairly short time now, but yeah, we're seeing real progress, and he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, he is. He brought me to you. I didn't know anything about you until he brought me to your attention, and then I started looking at what you were doing. And let's talk about YouTube, and let's talk about TikTok and all the stuff that you're doing with that. You just started doing some of that.
Right, a couple of years I started on TikTok. A friend of mine told me, "Hey, Dave, you got the music out there. You need to be on TikTok trying to promote it." And I tried that for a little while. I didn't gain much traction. Um, then I, started, just kind of I made a video showing people how to play, you know, matter of fact, a John Lee Hooker intro, and all of a sudden you get 50,000 streams. And I thought, I'm going about this the wrong way. I have an ability to get across to people in an easy way how to play guitar. Um, and I thought, why am I just promoting one side of the music? Just the stuff I've put out, when I can really help people, sort of reach their goals in music too, and uh, you know, sort of built the brand that way. Helping people on TikTok and YouTube sort of reach their musical goals, and then putting out my own music, and the two kind of support each other. I'm able to use my music to help with the videos, and the people who like the videos go and support the music. So it works, all the way around for me.
And you help musicians. People don't realize that about you.
I try to. I've been playing some sort of instrument, since I was 6 or 7 years old, and so for 35 plus years I've been playing, and it's been a struggle through the years. It's learning to play at the level you want to, and I've not achieved mine yet, the level I want to. But it's a struggle. It's really hard. And anything that I can do to sort of help people get over those walls and those plateaus and those humps that you reach, those obstacles that get in your way where you go, I know how to play my chords, but I don't know how to play any lead, or I know how to play a few lead things, but how do I move around the neck? And so I remember how hard that was for me as a musician. And so what I try to do is help other people, sort of unlock their potential, and try to make, guitar and music as easy as I can.
And you've been doing it for how long now?
I've always taught people how to play guitar, for 20 years now, but, with social media the way it is and technology the way it is, um, just in the last couple of years, I guess I've started, helping people around the world, and we're able to do even one-on-one lessons for people who want that. They sort of reach out to me, and we do, video chat, and we can do one-on-one things, because sometimes it's easier for me to see where somebody is in their struggle, see what it is, where that block is. So sometimes you kind of have to do the video lessons one-on-one, but For the last, I'd say about 2 years, YouTube has been up, doing videos for a little over a year now, and we've grown faster than I could have ever imagined. So I appreciate all the support from everybody who's helped to build that channel.
Well, you and I were talking about COVID, and I was telling you how COVID helped me during that period of time. That you wouldn't think that something like that would help these types of things, but it helped you too.
It did. I was, like everybody else, I was off work for a couple of months, and it gave me time to sort of sit down and sort of assess, what do I want to do with my music, and I sort of made um, you know, an ultimatum with myself, and I said, I've been trying at this music thing for years, but I haven't necessarily given it 100%. Like sort of put myself out there and released all the music and tried the social media and the TikTok and the YouTube, and um, so that was a period for me where I sort of got everything together, and I said, 5 years from now, I don't want to look back and say, I should have, or I wish I would have. So that was sort of a nice break and a turning point for me to sort of, focus my attention and sort of get things rolling on the music front.
It was a perfect time for that because, like I had said to you earlier, a little while before the interview, all the musicians in the world were sitting around waiting, doing nothing during that, what, year and a half, 2 years. And I was able to interview all of them and promote them when they had nowhere to go, nothing to do. And it was kind of crazy for me. It was, I didn't know what to expect because, in that situation, the musicians are nervous, upset because they can't get out and play. But I gave them an opportunity, which we're gonna do this again, you and I'm gonna have you come play during one of these
Absolutely.
interviews. They were doing that. I'll tell you, I did one in Australia, and she sat and played during the show when I was doing my interview with her. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually love that we're able to do that nowadays with technology. I mean,
Yep.
and quite frankly, I would be a much better musician had we had YouTube when I was a kid, because I mean, now you can get on there and you can learn literally anything that you want.
Right.
There's really no excuses now. Um, and if I'd have had that when I was a kid, just what a great resource. So that's sort of what I'm doing. It's just trying to be one extra resource, for people, who need that help.
Well, here's another question. Have you played in any bands locally, or is everything solo you do for yourself?
Oh no, just like everybody else, I played, the rock cover bands most of my life. I played in a country band here locally at the American Legion for 5 or 6 years, and then it was, right around that COVID time that I thought to myself, I've been recording these songs, I've been putting them out. Why am I playing for everybody else? Why not take that chance and try to make it under my own brand, under my own name. So I started a band with Davey Jones, amazing musicians. They've been with me since the beginning, and we play locally and regionally around here. We hadn't like started playing around the country, but here in the southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Louisiana, all around here, we certainly do play. So yeah, I have my own band. Like I said, amazing musicians, um, but it's all just under the umbrella of Davy Jones.
Tell me about this song, Woman I Love.
All right, you may not believe this. I was actually playing a show. It was a crawfish bowl here in town. It was just me and the drummer, so just a two-man show, and he had a problem with his drum set, and I didn't want dead time, so just kind of started playing something on the guitar. That beginning riff is actually what I started playing. Just sort of made it up on the spot. I liked it so much. I turned around and told the drummer, just come back in whenever you get it fixed. And so that song was what came out. We just made it up on the spot. We after that show, we kind of went and refined it and then made a studio version. But that one, like a lot of my songs, was sort of made up, on the fly. So
And that was this year, right? That was a new song
that was last year. Yeah.
last year. So you have some new ones since.
Yeah. I try to put out, I've put out a single every couple of months or so. But like I said, we've got an album that we're putting together, and it'll be out after the first of the year. I haven't been doing albums up to this point. Just sort of putting out
Singles.
singles. Yeah.
So you have around 30 singles out. Are they on all on YouTube? Where can people get those singles? Can they?
They're on any streaming platform. So Spotify, Apple, Pandora, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. They're literally everywhere. You're going to have to scroll past the Monkees lead singer and some of the other Davy Jones, but you can find me if you want to.
And how do
Um,
people
no,
find you that way?
so probably the easiest way is probably from my website, davyjonesmusic.com. Or if you want to find me on YouTube, just type in Davy Jones 457 or just type in Davy Jones guitar and I'll fill up the page. And links to everything are everywhere. So I've tried to link everything together. So I'm not difficult to find if you actually
So
look for me.
so your YouTube and TikTok stuff is linked in there as well.
Absolutely.
Great. So tell me, what does blues mean to you? The genre, the music, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think most people, when they think of the idea of blues, they're thinking of that old school blues, like the Robert Johnson stuff. But to me, blues is just sort of the umbrella that if you want feeling, emotion, uh, the blues umbrella is large enough to capture everything. Like for me, like I said, I grew up playing rock, played country. When I decided to settle on the blues, I tried to get rid of those other tendencies and influences
Yeah, well
and sound more.
let me jump in there. Those other tendencies you're talking about, blues is all part of those.
That's what I ended up deciding. I said, why am I trying to be the stereotypical, old school blues player when blues is big enough, to encompass everything.
Well, it started out as folk country kind of
Yep.
music, and then it morphed into rock. It morphed into all kinds of different, even jazz. It's morphed into in some ways.
Right. So to me, blues is sort of that big umbrella that catches, that part of country, that part of rock, funk, jazz, like you
Yep,
said,
yep.
um, and it just sort of it's a really hard genre to define, as there's not a region or a specific feeling or emotion. Um, but you know, blues to me is that umbrella that at least for me that I fit into.
Well, some of it started in the cotton fields, the singing in the cotton fields. I mean, that's the basis of the old style country blues, and then it was country. There was country music back. That technically was old folk country music, not like today's country music, but it was folk kind of folky music, and then it morphed as some of those guys moved away from the cotton fields. They moved out to Chicago. They moved, they were in Mississippi. I mean, in the cotton fields in Mississippi and Louisiana. I mean, that's where it all started, and then it just morphed from there. And
Right. Certainly, when Muddy Waters went up to Chicago, that he sort of electrified the blues and
yep,
made it loud.
Well, then you have the blues that was down in Louisiana. You had the Louis Armstrong era of the early stuff that came. And Lonnie Johnson was there in down in New Orleans and Mississippi, and playing in those. Another great guitar player. I don't know if you know him.
Yes, yes, I do know him.
He was one of the first guys that played straight blues. I mean, he was one of the best. I'm telling you, turn of the century, he was probably one of the best guitar players that came out of that era. And he was in Louis Armstrong's band. Surprisingly enough, there's the
I did
jazz. There's the jazz piece of it coming.
right. Yeah, I grew up right outside of New Orleans in Slidell, so I mean that that sound of that blues jazz, marching band going down.
Yep.
I love that sound, and I mean, I actually try to weave that into some of my playing. It's just a sound I've always loved with the trumpets and the trombones.
Yep. Big sound.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that you brought that up. All the history of you being involved with country and rock, and how blues it's a thread in all of it. All of it. I mean, it's part of it's kind of hidden because it's not mainstream. You don't see it mainstream. I mean, when Stevie Ray was around, it was mainstream because he made it mainstream. But it goes. You only see it in commercials these days. You don't see it up in front of you anymore.
I know, and I've thought about that. I mean, you mentioned SRV, and in some ways, John Mayer kind of brought a few of them mainstream in the
Yep.
'90s and 2000s. But
He had the
part of
jazz feel of it. He gave you the jazz feel of it, which was cool.
there's part of me that would love blues to be mainstream, and then there's part of me that still wants it to
No.
be kind of niche, because I don't want it to be commercialized and
Right.
sort of ruined by the corporate music industry.
It will
I
never be. It will never be because
I
it's like I said, it's behind the scenes all the time.
I hope you're right.
And it's the reason why I've been doing this for so long, to promote it, because people aren't getting to hear it on mainstream radio, and I'm not mainstream radio, so there's a big niche audience of people that grew up listening to rock. That, guess what? The closest thing to that today
Yeah,
is
definitely the
modern
blues.
blues.
Yeah, I don't really hear the I mean, I love classic rock, but I don't hear that genre as much anymore. And that's kind of sad. But you are right. The modern blues guys we're trying to keep that alive.
Well, look at Tab. You talk about Tab Benoit. That's someone else that's from your neck of the woods,
Absolutely, right down the road from me.
and he's one of those guys that's doing it. I mean, there's a lot of them. There's Joe Bonamassa. I could name a whole bunch of them. Kingfish, you name it. And there's even youngsters coming up doing it, which is even better.
Yep. No, I agree. There's some absolutely great blues musicians out there working it today.
And you're one of them. You don't realize it.
I, People say I'm too humble, but I mean, I'm just trying to bring my style, and where I grew up, just trying to get that out to the world in the best way that I know how to.
So when you release this new record, how are people going to be able to get it? They can get it from your website. Is it going to be available? Where is it going to be available?
Anywhere that you can find my music now, and you'll be able to get it, on the website. We don't, we don't. I mean, you can order, CDs, but people don't tend to do CDs anymore. But it's going to be on every streaming platform that there is, so you'll be able to find it for sure.
Vinyl too?
I don't know if I'm going to make vinyl. Depends on if people ask for it. We'll make it in vinyl. I've thought about making a few just
Just to
hang on the
have.
wall in the studio. So we'll see what the demand for the vinyl is.
So what's the most important thing that's happened to you in your life?
I can't really say that it's one thing in particular more than a
Music wise.
right. It's kind of a series of things because everything that's ever happened has led me uh, to where I am and made me the musician I am. From sitting on the bed learning, guitar chords to being told I'd never be a great musician and don't try to make it. To the people who supported it and told me to go for it. It's all been a not one specific pivotal moment, more than just a collection. Of things that led me, to where I am. But even the people who told me, not to do it, um, maybe they were right in some ways, but I took that as an opportunity to go be better, and get better, not quit, just change what I'm doing and do it in a different way.
That's good. It's a positive thing in for you.
Yeah, I don't have a negative outlook when I wake up in the mornings. I tend to be a positive person. I don't tend to do like the typical sad blues. I tend to do happy upbeat songs. It's what I like to listen to. It's how I like to live life. Sort of
So
happy and
the cup
not
is always
serious.
the cup is always half full.
I try to. I'm not saying every day is, but I
Yeah.
try.
All right. Well, let the listening audience know more about, again, talk about how they find out about you and where they're going to be able to get your record when it comes out.
Absolutely. Like I said, daveyjonesmusic.com. You can find, everything there is about me, all the links to, any interviews, upcoming shows, releases. So that's sort of the hub that'll, kind of send you everywhere. But like I said, the other spot most people tend to find information about me is on YouTube because we do videos there about every week, at least every other week, and then shorts all throughout the week. So you can keep up with me there. I read every single comment that people send me, good or bad. I get some bad ones too, but I read and respond to every comment. I actually like hearing from people, and so if you want to get in touch with me, that's a great way to do it. It's just leave me a comment, and I'll point you in the right direction of whatever you're looking for, whether that's help on the guitar or just in music in general. People will message me, how do I, I've written a song, how do I get it out there in the world? I try to, all these things I had to learn on my own, all the obstacles I had to get over. I try my best to help people out in achieving their goals too.
Well, I'm glad you're able to do that. That's great, and the musicians must love the fact that you help them out like that.
Yeah, no, it's to me, I don't look at anybody as competition. I'm my own person, have my own style and sound, and just like everybody else. And to me, there's room enough for everybody. So, if you want help, if you want to make it, I say we all help each other. Like we're all working for the same goal, and that's to build,
Be
build the blues
successful.
and take it out to the world. Absolutely,
So, do you have Facebook and Instagram too, and stuff like social media?
I do, and everything's under Davy Jones Music.
Yeah,
So
explain that one. Davey with an E, right? Davey.
right. Just again, a way to try to separate my name from the other Davy Jones. The Davy Jones is in the past. So Davey Jones Music. Type that into Google. You'll be able to find me anywhere.
.com, right?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's great. You have a .com. A lot of musicians don't have their .coms. It costs money.
Well, it's to me, it's the you got to spend a little money to make money. So Um, but I mean, nowadays, like I said, everything's fairly affordable now. So like, studio in the house, like studio mics like this used to, um, you know, cost a gazillion dollars, and now you can pick them up on eBay or Reverb Nation. And I mean the same with websites. I host my own, so um, you can outsource all of these things, but for me, and it's one of the reasons why people reach out to me for help, because I've had to set up my own website and build my own YouTube channel and record all my own stuff and mix and master. And
There's a
you
lot.
can out it's an awful lot, and you can either outsource it and spend the money, or you can spend the time, energy, and effort and learn to do it yourself. So that's what I chose to do, because I never had a whole lot of
There's
money.
there's a lot of learning there. You just said a whole bunch of it. You have to learn how to do all that stuff. That's incredible that you were able to do all that, and you're still doing it.
Yeah, it's always a growing process, whether it's learning to play guitar, or every mix I do is a little bit better than the last one. And yeah, I can pay thousands of dollars and have the professional mix and master it, but to me it's also a way to be authentic. So when people listen to my music, they're getting me. I play everything that's on there. It's all done in house with my two hands. So it's just uniquely me. And I kind of like it to be that way, and not corporately polished.
And you have your own music studio too, right?
Right. And like I said, I mean, everything's affordable nowadays. So I mean, you know, with a laptop and I mean, you can get free DAWs to record your music, and just get you a decent studio mic, and I mean, really, you're good to go. You're off and running. And like I said, yeah, it's going to take some time and effort and trial and error to figure out how to make things sound professional and radio ready. But if people want to do it, they
They
can.
can. Yeah, you're right. They can now. You couldn't before. It was
N-
you had to go to a studio before.
You
Now
had
they've
to.
made it so easy to do what we're doing right now. I mean, I
Yeah.
never was able to do this.
Yeah, and when I grew up, my parents had I mean, we always had music stuff around the house. So we had a Tascam 4-track tape recorder, and I mean, I wore that thing out, trying to record and bounce tracks back and forth, and yeah, they sounded like garbage. I mean, I still have the tapes, and I I listen to them occasionally, and um, but I sit here and listen to my music now, and I'll close my eyes and go, that 12-year-old kid would be really proud, of where we've ended up.
Well, it's light years. It sounds light years better than those 4-track tapes that you have.
Absolutely. But I mean, they were they were fun, and they taught you some valuable lessons.
Yeah. Some of that stuff though sounded pretty good if you recorded it properly.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing people don't understand, and I didn't for the longest time, I thought, in the digital world where everything's super clean, we don't, you know, now when I got able to do digital recording, I thought this is all I need. But even the big studios, we either use tape plugins to make it sound like it's run through a tape, or we run it out and run it through a tape recorder, and then run it back in, and re-record it. There's something about the sound of that tape, that that's just appealing to the ear.
It's warm.
So
It's warmer.
it is. So that's the sound that everybody's used to, and it actually makes everything sound better. Um, so even though we are in the digital world, that tape's not going away anytime soon.
Well, that's why I asked about the record because records have a warmer sound.
Yes, they do, and I have thousands of records around the house. I've just collected over the years since I was a kid, and I still love to listen to them, even with all the scratches and the pops. Maybe
Yep.
that just makes me old. I don't I don't know,
No,
but
but they do sound a lot better. I had to explain that to someone one time. They're going, "Yeah, what's the difference?" Digital. I go, "Oh, there's a big difference."
there is absolutely. But like I said, I love the digital world because you can, you make a mistake, you just cut, paste, chop it out. So there's a lot of things you can do now that you couldn't do with the old tape. You had to have that sort of perfect
Recording.
performance. Yeah.
Yep.
But like I said, if people want to do it now, you certainly can. And I don't play anything perfect or cleanly. So yeah, I spend hundreds of hours sitting there playing something over and over again till I like it.
Well, Davey, I want to say thank you very much for taking some time out, about a half hour, a little more than that, of your time to talk about your music and your career. And I'm looking forward to hearing the new record when it comes out.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed being here. This has been a blast.
And we're going to do this again. Let's talk about doing this once the record's out next year. I want you to come back on, and rather than do an interview, we'll do it. We'll talk about the songs, and you can play some of them while we're doing this. How's that?
I would love to do that. That sounds great to me.
Keep my phone number. Let's keep in touch, and let me know when the record comes out. Doug will probably send me a copy of it when it comes out.
Absolutely.
And then right after that, let's set something up so you can come and play.
Absolutely. I would love to do that. That sounds awesome.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, let's shoot to do that after the first of the year.
You got it. All right. Thanks again, Davey, and good luck with everything.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for waiting for me in my computer.
That's not a problem at all.
And look up Mule Man, Mark Mule Man Massey. You'll like him. He's an interesting guy.
I will do that.
Let me know what you think. You have my email. Text me and tell me what you think after you check him out.
Yeah, let me go ahead and put this in my phone so I won't forget.
He's Mule Man Massey, Senatobia, Mississippi. He killed me. I mean, I was like, wow, where'd this guy come from? He's really an interesting guy. I mean, he's been through a lot. There you go. And there's a video of him. You'll find it. It's a like 11-minute video, and it's a story about him. It's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I see it right here. So yeah, absolutely.
Check him out.
I'll check him out.
And we got a date for another time for you to come and play on the show.
Absolutely. No, I would love to. Looking forward to
play
that.
2 or 3 songs. You don't have to play too many. We'll play, promote them, talk about them. I want you to talk about the songs too and how they came about, and then play them.
Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
All right.
That sounds like fun.
Thank you again.
Absolutely. I had a blast.
I had a blast too. Have a great day.
You as well.